Welcome back to another Euro Fantasy video and podcast. Today I'll be covering the best forwards in the game and do a top 10 with one honourable mention to form a starting 11. If you want to change the rankings yourself or propose your own forwards, then be sure to do so in the comment section down below and join the Euro Fantasy League, which you can see on screen on YouTube. JCRHjQ is the league code and there is an auto join link in the description below, and be sure to join me on Discord. It's a great community there for all fantasy formats, and consider becoming a patron or a channel member for early access to my videos amongst many other perks. Some of these videos that are being published would have been actually available to members and patrons days in advance, sometimes even up to a week, so be sure to check it out. There are many other perks as well included, and you can also check out my Spotify and leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. One budget forward that is severely under the radar is Barnabas Varga, who plays for Ferencváros. He got 41 goal contributions for his club and he has less than 1% ownership, priced at just 6 million, and he's nailed on for Hungary, who are quite underrated in the grand scheme of things. They've beaten the likes of England in the last couple of years and they can give the best of teams all sorts of problems. And Varga has a good record for the national team with 6 goals and an assist in just 11 appearances, and against Israel in the recent friendly, Varga got a brace and an assist. So I think he's a great option at 6 million, and he's quite unlucky to narrowly miss out on the top 10. We've got some top picks in this position all covered in today's video and podcast, and Varga is right up there amongst the very best. This video and podcast is recorded before Turkey take on Poland in the last international friendly for both countries, and Robert Lewandowski is likely going to make his 150th appearance in that match. But as things stand, on 149 games played, he has 81 goals and 32 assists for the national team, and for Barcelona he ended the season strongly with 35 goal contributions and his ownership is just 3%. His price tag is 9.5 million, and the Netherlands and France are quite tough opponents on paper, but against Austria in Matchday 2, I think Poland are going to fancy themselves in that match. But I have to say, watch out for Austria. They've got 8 wins out of the last 10 games and they're quite underrated overall, just like Hungary and a few other teams like Slovenia, who I've covered in all my videos and podcasts in the build-up to Matchday 1. But Lewandowski can score against absolutely anybody. He's a great penalty taker, and from open play he can still do the business despite being in the twilight of his career. So Lewandowski is still one of the best forwards in the game, but I've put him in 10th place in the rankings. The Netherlands also have one friendly remaining on Monday night against Iceland, and Mbappe has been very consistent for the Dutch national team with 91 games, 45 goals and 30 assists at the time of this recording, and for his club he got 11 goal contributions this season, which isn't particularly great, but Mbappe really turns it on in the international stage, and he's also had a fair few injuries over the years. His ownership is just 3%. He's priced at 7.5 million, so if you're not looking for a Havertz and want to go a bit different in this position, and at that price point, the likes of Dovbyk and Mbappe are definitely viable alternatives, and the fixtures are quite decent from the Netherlands' perspective, but Matchday 2 will be very tough on paper against France, who are one of the best teams in the tournament. The Netherlands might not be at the same level they were in Qatar with Louis van Gaal, and Ronald Koeman isn't the same level of coach in my opinion, but they can still go quite far in this competition. They've won it before a few decades ago, and the Netherlands have always produced top talent, and Memphis Depay, in terms of his national team performances, has been one of those players who has delivered time after time again. Antoine Griezmann has been a great player for France over the years, playing in a number of different positions. In Qatar, just 2 years ago, he played as a central midfielder, but he can play just behind a striker, as an outright number 9, and sometimes even on the wings. He's very versatile, and he's probably France's most important player overall, and his price is 9 million, but as a forward, I'm not so sure if he'll get the same number of goals and assists as he has done in previous Euros tournaments. He's got a very good record in this competition. With just 11 appearances, he has registered 7 goals and 2 assists, so he might be the go-to France forward actually, but there are 2 others who are even better goal scorers for the national team. But Griezmann still has 44 goals and 38 assists in 129 appearances. His ownership is just 7%, and for Atletico Madrid, he got 32 goals and assists combined, and the fixtures look quite good for France. They're expected to win this group and probably get at least 2 victories, possibly 3, with maybe a clean sheet in there and a lot of goals in each game. And Antoine Griezmann, I think, will step it up and get more goal contributions than he did back in Qatar for the World Cup. This will be Olivier Giroud's last international tournament, and he's been very prolific for France over the years. In 133 games, he has scored 57 times and registered 16 assists. And he's also leaving AC Milan and joining Los Angeles FC, and he got 26 goal contributions in his final season in Italy. And his ownership is 3%. He's priced at 8 million. It's quite difficult comparing Giroud to Griezmann, but Giroud will be the out-and-out number 9. And I also think he's more of a prolific goal scorer than Griezmann, although maybe in the Euros you could give Griezmann the edge. So it's very difficult going for one over the other. And ultimately, you've also got Mbappe, who most people in the game will be going for. But France, I think, could score many goals in match days 1 and 3. And even against the Netherlands, I'm not expecting clean sheets there. I think there could be many goals for both sides, and France would be the favourites to win that game as well. So Olivier Giroud is ranked at number 7, and he's been one of the best strikers of his generation on the international stage. Dovbyk scored in a recent international friendly against Poland, and that was a 3-1 defeat for Ukraine. And just before that, they drew 0-0 to the host Germany, and they've got 1 friendly remaining against Moldova on Tuesday. So let's see how they get on there. But in 27 games for Ukraine, Dovbyk has 9 goals and 3 assists, and he won the La Liga Golden Boot, getting 35 goal contributions across all competitions, and his ownership is just 6%. He's priced at 7.5 million, and the first 2 match days against Romania and Slovakia look particularly appealing on paper. Then it's Belgium in match day 3, which is quite tough, but I still think Ukraine can score goals in that game, and Dovbyk is the talismanic figure. For me, he's the best outfield player that Ukraine have to offer, and you've also got Lunin in goal, who's one of the best budget goalkeepers, and I cover him in the best budget players video and also in the best goalkeepers. But Dovbyk is right up there with Lunin as the best Ukraine asset. Kai Havertz scored again against Greece in a recent 2-1 win for Germany, and it was actually the equaliser. And in this calendar year, he's been terrific for Arsenal, stepping up in so many games during the run-in, and he was very unlucky, I think, to end up with no Premier League title. But the time will come, I think, for Kai Havertz and co. And for Germany, being the host nation, I think Havertz can be the spark up front to really lift them and maybe go really far in this competition, perhaps to a semi-final or beyond. And Germany would be favoured to win this group and get 2 wins potentially. But Hungary, Scotland and Switzerland won't be easy. They're all quite evenly matched, but Germany will obviously be the standout team there, especially in terms of their international pedigree with 4 World Cups. They're in the pantheon of greats with the likes of Brazil, Argentina and Italy, and Kai Havertz for me is one of the best forwards in the game. One minor correction to something I said in a recent video and podcast where I said Kai Havertz didn't score or assist in the qualifiers. Well, that's because Germany didn't have to do any qualifiers because they're the host nation. So I had to get that out of the way and correct myself there. But Havertz in 46 games for Germany registered 16 goals and 14 assists, and for Arsenal 21 goal contributions in his debut season for the Gunners. And beyond the goals and assists, I think his overall performances have been very impressive. Most matches were played in a left central midfield position, but up front he's really stepped it up, and he's averaging a goal or assist every 65 minutes, I believe, for the Gunners, something like that. And I think if he can translate that form to Germany, he could be right up there with some of the all-time greats. Of course, I'm referring to Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm not saying Havertz will compare to Ronaldo in terms of their overall career, just in this international tournament, just to be clear and not have anything, taken out of context. But look at some of these numbers for Cristiano Ronaldo. They are absolutely unbelievable. 206 games for Portugal, 128 goals, 46 assists, and for his club, he registered 57 goal contributions. I mean, no matter what you think about Ronaldo, if you love him or hate him, you can't deny the numbers are sublime, and he's got great fixtures. He might not start every single game, and in fact, he was benched against Croatia in a recent friendly, which ended 2-1 for Croatia there. But I think Ronaldo will start at least 2 matches in the group stages, and he can do very well against the likes of Czech Republic, Turkey and Georgia, which are very favourable for Portugal. He's priced at 10 million. His ownership is 16%. I've put Ronaldo at number 4, and for me, there is quite a gap between the top 3 and the rest, but Cristiano Ronaldo has always been one of the best players in the world. Romelu Lukaku is always overlooked when we talk about the best strikers in international football. For Belgium, his record is simply phenomenal. In 115 games, he has scored 85 times and registered 17 assists, and he actually scored a brace in a recent friendly against Luxembourg, and he also took a penalty. So he is the number one penalty taker for Belgium. You've also got the likes of Trossard and potentially De Bruyne, who are second and third in the pecking order, but Lukaku is the number one there for the penalty spot. And he had a decent season for Roma, getting 25 goal contributions. His ownership is just 13% and he's priced at 9 million. So I think Lukaku could be the best striker in terms of value in the entire game. And not only that, the fixtures are quite favourable against Slovakia, Romania and Ukraine. Originally, I had Kylian Mbappe in top spot, but we're talking about very fine margins between the two best strikers in world football. And Kylian Mbappe has a great record for France with 79 games played, 47 goals and 33 assists, and for Paris Saint-Germain he got 54 goal contributions, and that's why his ownership is 77%. He's by far the most owned player in the game, despite being priced at 11 million, being the joint most expensive player alongside Harry Kane. Now, Kylian Mbappe faces Austria in Matchday 1, and that's where he'll probably score his first goal in the Euros. He played 4 times in the previous tournament, didn't score, only got 1 assist, and missed a decisive penalty against Switzerland, and he'll be eager to add the Euros to his trophy collection, and he is now a Real Madrid player, so a Ballon d'Or is inevitable. It's only a matter of time before Mbappe wins that accolade as well. I've put Mbappe in second place, but honestly, you could easily put him in top spot. Despite missing a huge chance against Iceland and England going on to lose that game, Harry Kane has been incredible for England and Bayern Munich throughout his career. He has scored goals wherever he's been. At Tottenham, of course, he's a legend, and Harry Kane scores goals. It's just inevitable, and I think he'll do that again in the Euros. But it's worth mentioning, in the previous tournament, he actually was quite slow to the party. He didn't score at all in the group stages and only started racking up the goals and assists in the round of 16, quarterfinals and semi-finals, which is the most important thing, right? As you get to the knockouts, delivering in those big games is heavily important, but Harry Kane can do it in the group stages this time round against Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia, despite Slovenia winning 8 out of the last 10 games and England being in very poor form with only 1 victory out of the last 5 matches. Harry Kane is priced at 11 million and is owned by 48% of the game. In 91 games for England, he has scored 63 times and registered 19 assists. And for Bayern Munich, in his debut season in Germany, he got 56 goals and assists combined. Harry Kane is one of the best strikers and players in the world, and it's only a matter of time before he finally wins a trophy. That concludes the best forwards in Euro Fantasy. If you want to change some of the rankings or propose your own forwards, then I'm happy to hear them in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching this video and listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, then be sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Our aim is to get this video to over 200 likes and to keep on pushing towards 24,000 subscribers, which is our aim by the end of the Euro tournament. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, for less Euro Fantasy, FPL and user fantasy updates, and also join the Discord server, which covers every fantasy format, and also join the Euro Fantasy League. The league code is JCRHjQ, and there is an auto join link which makes it even easier. Also consider joining Draft Hound for FPL. It's a great resource which I'll show you throughout the summer. And also check out Spotify and leave a 5-star review on my podcast and follow me on that platform. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. I wish you all the best of luck for Matchday 1 and the rest of the tournament, and I'll see you next time.